Hello. What's happening in Ukraine is another sad situation similar to what's happened in the past in other countries. And George Soros is involved in that, as well as the Rothschilds and so on. They're stirring up the insurrection there, trying and hoping that they can get a foothill over there in next to Russia. It's not going to happen. Putin won't allow it. And the U.S. doesn't have, the corporation doesn't have the wherewithal any longer to fight with Putin. As he said, John McCain's nuts. He called them nuts and crazy. Well, it's not just John McCain who's nuts and crazy. It's all the people who can't remember their own name. So anyway, it's not going to happen in the Ukraine. And I have many friends in the Ukraine, and I pray you're well. I hope you're okay. And I'll be contacting you soon, trying to find out what really is going on. I know about the Black Ops. I know about the other things. I just want to make sure you're okay. I've tried reaching you. I can't, because there's problems with your computer and problems with your phones. So I wish you well. I pray to God you are okay. And yes, Barry Soetoro, there is a God. So goodbye, Barry. Okay, George Soros came over to Indonesia trying to get the gold. Wasn't successful. We can go further. The United Kingdom and Indonesia too. Indonesia is standing their ground. Indonesia and Bang has stood their ground and has told the cabal basically go home. That's why the earthquakes hit Indonesia. That's why Kerry says in 20 minutes with our new technology, new weapons, we can bury the city of Jakarta under the water. He won the world. He didn't want Indonesia. He was telling everybody what they had. Why did he do that? Because they don't have much right now. As everyone knows, we're hurting. We're hurting because we let the Zionists take over our country. We're hurting because the Nazis are running our country, and the Khazars. And our government, I'm talking about Congress, they're not government. Congress and Senate are the same. Most are the same. And the Israel lobbyists, which are all Zionists, they got to go. We have to get rid of them somehow. Don't worry. We'll find a way. Okay? Now, the meetings, I talked about one of the meetings. In that meeting, I learned an awful lot. Okay? An awful lot. There's financial help and assistance coming in the near future when we take care of our problems. Then I had another meeting with 6 people from, these are all Asian, different places. And with 6, not people, but at the top of the food chain. And they're the ones who make the decisions. And I talked to the 6, and they made it very clear, again, that the financial assistance will come. They don't want to hurt the people. And neither does Russia, by the way. Nobody wants to hurt our people. Even Putin has told us we've got to do something. He's made it clear. We grew up disliking these people. I ended up marrying one from Bulgaria. We were misled from day one. And I'm over here in Indonesia. The people are fantastic. They're loving, they're kind, they're humble. They're not like the West. They're not like the people that are leading, which are called Zionists, which are called Nazis. We don't want to fight, really. No, not any one of us wants to fight. But, we've got to know that we may have to. We've got to know that. And if we don't know that, then we're in for a beating and a rude awakening. And I don't know if we're ready for that. And the world doesn't want that either. They want us to survive. Okay, everybody's behind us. You're over there saying, well, where are they? We got 200 and some million people in our country. Where are they? They're sitting down on their sofa watching television. That's where they are. And other people say, we're not going to fight because it's illegal. But they're dropping the sprays on us, thinking we're cucarachas and they're killing our kids. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Let them do that? They wrote the laws. They can do it. But you can't. We write our own laws. We got 200 and some million people. We decide what we're going to do to save our families. Not anyone else. Oh, it's just insane. The EU, the meetings were great. We're almost there. We're going to chop the head of the snake off very soon. And once we chop the head of the snake off, that's the end of their lifeline over here in Europe. They lose. And then they have nowhere to turn because everything they do is in the City of London. You know, we don't have a president, really. He works for them. He works for the City of London. Everything comes back to the City of London and the Vatican, which we seem to forget sometimes. You know, we've been had. We've all been had. And the sooner you realize it, the sooner we all realize it, the better off we are. Anyway, I'm sorry that I get excited, but Peter does it because Peter's waving his hands in the background and things. And he gets me going. And he does it deliberately just to get me to say things. You know, and you too. So Joe just smiles. So, you know, the bottom line is that we've got work to do. We have to finish our work here. And we've done a lot of work. But there's more work to come. NALU's hearing is going to be soon. Possibly within a week. And at that point in time, we'll know the first step of his release. And, you know, he's got to go home. He's got to spend time with his family. He's got to get readjusted. He's got to adjust. And he'll be fine. As for everything else, you know, the Keenan team, they did a great job of putting their work together. Nothing like it, really. And, you know, I'm sad they're not here with me because they could have helped me here, and they're not here. And sad about splits and everything else. It should never have happened. I don't think so, anyway. But it was time, I guess. All in all, coming to get Karen. My lawyers are coming. As for everyone else, I wish you a great day. Peter, come and say something about the meeting, please. About the meeting. Whether you think it was a positive or what. I mean, you were there.
Well, the first thing I'd like to point out, because the people that are watching this probably don't realise how time-consuming small events become. It's like Neil posting the cease and desist notices became an all-day event in terrible humid conditions, long queues, and he was in there at the front. I bailed out eventually. I just needed some fresh air.
Almost fights.
I'll tell you about the skirmish we had just during that. But I sort of bailed out and went outside for some fresh air to find myself right next door to a huge pile of rubbish. But then it was good seeing that pile of rubbish because I related the rubbish to the cabal, because that's all they are, rubbish. And so Neil and I have used that now because we want them to know that when things start working our way, we're going to be mailing that rubbish back to them. And we've got a huge stockpile outside the post office. But coming back to the post office again, we're queuing up there and with the good citizens of Jakarta, and a couple of ladies came in just for a quick sale of stamps, you know, pushing in front of the queue. They'll only want 6 stamps or 26 stamps. But then when you've got 2 and then 6 and 12 and you get a huge queue, that eventually you don't progress. And so...
And we've been in line for an hour and a half already.
Yeah, and we've been in, yeah, that's right. And remember, this is squalid, humid conditions, right? People sitting on the floor waiting. And so Neil fired up, you know, he was already red from the heat anyway, but he became redder and enraged when he saw these girls pushing up. So he put a lot of pressure on Joe by saying, tell them, Joe. And you'll probably see this in another clip. And he was basically trying to ask Joe to translate and tell these girls to butt out and let the ordinary citizens who've been queuing up with us for most of the morning to let them take their turn in the queue. Well, so that was that. And
then your ass back in line is what I said.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know, he has to say that himself from the horse's mouth. I feel very, very privileged to be present for the signing of this cease and desist notice that Neil Keenan will now sign, that is being sent to Barack Obama, Evelyn Robert de Rothschild, Jacob Rothschild, David Rockefeller Sr., the Senate of the United States Corporation, note the corporation, the House of Representatives of the United States Corporation, George Soros, Etienne Navignon, and Janet Yellen. I now put the papers down in front of Neil to sign.
Yes, good morning, afternoon actually. I have to do this over. We have to do this a second time. They've requested a stamp. So we're going to put a stamp, corporate stamp on it, signature, and get it out today. So that's the next step for me, is to make sure that this time here, the stamp is on it. And then we're all set from here. Another stamp. There it is, like this. Maybe I get it in here somehow. That's upside down, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, it's upside down anyway.
It doesn't matter. It's
in Australia, it's the right way up.
They're down under. There's the stamp. It's all done. All these little particulars sometimes make a difference, you know. I understand. Okay, this is this way. This should be this way. Last time it wasn't. There you go. There's two. There's the second one here. I got it right. I have it right now. Here's three. I didn't sign this one, so okay. And four. By the way, just so you know, we've recorded this so that you're all witnesses to this event. Okay, not just Peter here. That way they can't come back and say this or say that. You've witnessed it yourself. Just in case, here's my signature. I don't want this to come back again.
Put it on.
Wait.
There's my signature. There's the stamp. There's the seal. Corporate.
And I'd like to add to this that I will be accompanying Neil and Joe, of course, to the post office to see this transmitted to the respective parties.
Okay, we're all set now. Thank you, people. Just wanted to involve you, make it more real, and get this thing over with. Thank you again. Oh, we need our help. Come on. There's a line here.
Pak, 25 Pak.
There's a line.
Pak, materai 25.
Can you tell? Neil's getting angry now.
Yeah, you bet. There's nothing to cut in the line over here. Everybody has a service they want here.
He's going to get his Irish shillelagh out.
In a second.
And you would not want to see that, believe me.
You don't want to see. Hey Joe, explain to him there's a line here.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's done.
No, there's more people.
Ya, Pak.
There's one line.
Pak,
There's one line.
dia minta layanannya sesuai
You
urutan
go back to the
antrinya,
line.
Pak.
Iya.
C&D is going to the Rothschilds and to Devon. If this place doesn't get torn down before. People cutting over the line over here.
Express delivery, Joe. We'll get them there yesterday. You'll hear the stamp in a minute, which will be on the envelope. Oh, first he has to type the addresses in. This could take all day because it's in English. Are we on number 2 or 3?
The wrong question. Can answer your question.
Don't tell me we're still on 1.
That's right.
Finish. Hey, bravo, Pedro. The judge.
Semuanya
He'd be a better judge than the judges we have in America. Huh? Better
Yeah,
judge.
kurang lebih 1 minggu ya. Okay. It takes roughly a week
Thank you.
to get there.
But then coming back to meetings, you know, he's had quite a few meetings. He talks about 6, but one in particular, we're talking about like ultra VIPs, some of these people, and one in particular, we can't name names, but I can tell you it took a whole 12 hours, and we came back, you know, pretty screwed up after that. The meeting took about 5.5 hours. It was very constructive, made a lot of ground on it, and we came away, you know, very happy with the results of that. But at the same time, it did take a day up, and we suffered probably for 2 days, and of course Neil himself became sick for other reasons, which he's told you about. So just understand that small things take a long time here. So I'll put the closure back to Neil to close off this segment. Thank you.
I guess to close this off, basically is, you know, we pray that we don't have to go to war. I mean, we don't have an army, but we do. We have a lot of people, and we have sticks and rocks and things just like they used in the old days, I guess. And there's only a handful of them and a lot of us.
And shillelaghs.
You know, I got a shillelagh. I got a shillelagh coming, so I'm okay. My friend Chris is bringing a shillelagh so I can rock a few heads. But you know, hopefully it doesn't get to that point where our own kids are turning on their families, representing a corporation that doesn't give a crap about them. You know, because they may turn on their families and they may find out that they're not one of the ones that's going to survive. That they're going to be the ones they kill too. So, you know, we've got to put everybody together, and we've got to deal with this properly, so that our families and our people are all just getting together. You know, getting together, rather than falling apart and fighting with one another. We're together. You know, drinking from the same table, drinking from the same cup, doing the things we've always done as family, as friends. We don't need to separate and listen to Barry Soetoro. You know, I mean, who the hell is he other than an actor? You know, I mean, that's it. He's an actor. And who the hell is George Bush other than a guy named Schröff who represents the Nazis? We've been had. We've been had. And now it's our turn to clear the sky, basically, which really is, in essence, we have to do. Clear the table. But we'll do that. We'll do that. Just keep your chin up. You know, we're going to be doing things ourselves over here. I've got some more time here. And Michael, great job. You know, all the Michaels, great job. Laugh, good job. Joe, great job, Joe. Peter, great help, good job. Everybody, you know, there's so many people that have been involved in this. I'm not going to mention their names, but you know, you got everybody out there. You got Drake putting his neck on the line, trying to save people too. You know, Jean's going her way, which is the Ascension way. Which, right now, I think if we all waited for Ascension to come, we'd all be dead. And there'd be no Ascension, there'd be no life. But that's Jean's choice. We figure we have to take care of things now, so that there is a later. Anyway, all in all, wishing you all the best. Get back to you this week sometime. I'm sorry this took so long. We had a couple of updates, but it really wasn't good because the information... Oh, by the way, again, today's the 15th. Where are all these changes in the financial system? Where are they? I told you a year ago it's not going to happen. I'll tell you again, it's not happening without the East. The East is doing their own financial system. They also got, so you know, the United Nations is moving to the East, which isn't a big thrill for you or me. But if they make mistakes when they're in the East, they'll be shocked. So, I don't know. Talk to you all later. There's so much You know, just talk to you later, okay? I'm tired. It's been a rough couple of days for me. And now the emotions just tire me out. I have energy though, so I say goodbye. Before I don't have energy. Ciao, have a great day. Bye-bye. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll do it. Bye-bye.